Welcome to the Get Published podcast, sponsored by Brodie Consulting Group. To get more information about our coaching, publishing, executive ghostwriting, and podcast production services, go to getpublishedpodcast.com. Hello, I am Paul Brodie, and thank you for joining us for another episode of the Get Published podcast, where we help authors get published with a proven system that works. And today, we are concluding our series about virtual summits. And the main point of our final episode as part of this series is to give you a wrap-up. So the main things that we have talked about is why you should host a virtual summit. And very simple: authority, to grow your business, and to be looked at as the Ellen or the Oprah of your field, because you are positioned as the subject matter expert. We also talked about the 3 pillars of authority. In our view, with our business model, our 3 pillars started with the book. Then it grew to the podcast a few years later, and now with the virtual summits. And with our business model, we will do virtual summits at least once a year. So for us, the 3 pillars of authority are your book, your podcast, and then your virtual summit. Because that way, people have multiple channels and multiple ways to be able to connect with you, your brand, and your business, and most importantly, connection, where they can build that relationship with you, whether that's through your books, your podcast, your virtual summit, and most likely a combination of those 3 pillars of authority. We also talked about choosing your theme and sponsorships. With your theme, it needs to be in your field. So if you are a digital marketer, if you are a financial expert, if you are in real estate, it needs to be specifically in that field. One of the best pieces of advice that I ever received was to stay in your lane. The other piece from my business mentor was that you are your business, you are your brand, the person that you are. And that's why I am a huge believer in having your business as the sponsor of the summit, because that takes your business to the next level. Where I had Brodie Consulting all over the summit, on the sales page or the landing page, however you want to look at that, on the emails. Everyone knew that the Get Published Summit was hosted by me, but Brodie Consulting was the sponsor. Same thing with our podcast. Brodie Consulting has been the sponsor for 499 episodes and counting. So you want to have your business as the sponsor, in my view, because I do feel that is the best way for return on investment. Now, if you want to find another company to be a sponsor, that's great. But I will tell you from our experience, the best way to do this is to have your business as the sponsor. Setting up a detailed timeline. And this is something we could have done better. So our goal was to get everything done within 90 days. We started late October, early November, planning it out. And the first thing we did was to reach out to speakers, to get those interviews booked. And not only to get that done, to get those interviews completed, but then asking them, hey, who do you know that would be a great fit for our summit? Who would be a good person? We don't care if they promote it or not. We just want to have good people. Now, most of the time, they're going to promote the summit, but you just want to do that in terms of a soft sell, where you're not just coming across where you want to be able to use their lists. Be sincere about it. Just let them know, hey, we want good people. The rest of it will take care of itself. So getting the interviews done first, and then as you are getting those interviews done, that is when you want to get the transcriptions done. That is when you want to extract the audio, and that is when you want to upload it to whichever website's going to host it, whether it's Vimeo, YouTube, whatever you're going to use. But you want to try to do all that in real time, as close as possible, because that is a lesson that we learned the hard way. We waited until the last minute, and that was a huge mistake. So that's something that I definitely recommend in regards to your timeline. And then just making sure that you get everything onto the hosting platform roughly a month before if you can. Now, obviously, I understand some of it will be last minute. Ours was. We didn't even get started on that side of things until a week before. But if I could do it again, I would want to get that done a month prior, if at all possible. Virtual Summit hosting, we talked about a few different options. I am a huge believer in Hey Summit. Are they perfect? Nope. But we were able to get a great deal. And I do believe in what they're doing. I believe in what they offer. Now, I don't have any type of business relationship with them. No affiliate link I'm going to be sending out. I just feel that they bring the best value for someone who's doing virtual summits for the first time. They have email responders built in. They have payment processing through Stripe. You can put everything on there. Everything's all in one. And when you're doing your first summit, you want things to be as simple as possible. I was a teacher for 9 years. And the biggest thing that we talked about when I was teaching my students and dealing with faculty and administration is simplicity. Making things as simple as possible. So that's why, personally, I'm a big fan of Hey Summit and what they offer. We also talked about admission options and speaker engagement. So offering that free ticket, give them 24-hour access, and then give them the opportunity to purchase a premium pass. Have it on sale for $97 during the summit, and then after that, raise it to $197 or a higher price point. But you definitely want to do that. Same thing with speaker engagement. Make sure you're communicating with your speakers. I'm a big fan of leaderboards. Make it competitive, make it fun, but make sure that you are in contact with your speakers and you're sending them emails directly to them. You're not sending emails just to the entire group. Make it as personalized as possible to ensure that they are going to promote the summit if at all possible. And that will help you with building long-term relationships with those speakers, because I already have several upcoming projects with multiple speakers from our summit. So it's all about building those relationships and the engagement. We talked about structuring your event programming. We did ours over 5 days. Personally, when we're going to do this next summit, we're going to do it over 7 days, because I want the summit to go from Monday to Sunday of the week. I just feel that Fridays are difficult for conversion because people are wrapping up the week, they're getting ready for the weekend, so I want to have those 2 extra days. And our goal is going to be to most likely have 30 speakers for our next summit, so that way we can spread everything out over that amount of time. I'm also a big believer in having an opening session hosted by the host, by yourself, and also having a closing session with that, where you can tie in the offers, the summits, the engagement, and just continue to build that relationships, as we talked about, with the 3 pillars of authority. Marketing your summit. The main way to do this is to have your speakers promote, because they're promoting it through email. Social media is nice. In my view, I do not feel that social media converts very well. It is great for awareness, for getting your name out, for getting likes, maybe some comments. But in regards to getting those people to actually go to your summit, I don't feel the conversion is great. But when you have speakers that can send emails about your summit to their emails of their audience going, hey, I'm going to be on Paul's summit today. This is what we're going to talk about. Here's the link for your free access pass. And if you want lifetime access, you can get the premium pass. Soft sell, very clear. We also utilized Advent Trinity Marketing Agency. They did some social media promotion for us. We only did $100 because we didn't want to spend too much. We had an event page created, and then we invited people to it. We had content on the page, and a lot of people were able to access that information, and we did get signups. But if you are going to utilize social media, I do recommend invest in a little bit of advertising. It doesn't have to be much, because the main point of this is you want your summit to be profitable on the front end. As we talked about, we have had speakers from our summit spend in excess of $20,000 for their summits. You don't want to do that, especially in the startup phase. Emails for summit promotion and graphics. You can find someone to create your summit images, your graphics, and you want 2 of them. You want one with yourself in it, and then you want one of yourself with all the speakers. And you can actually check ours out very easily at gps.heysummit.com. Again, gps.heysummit.com. And you can actually see our landing page or our sales page, however you want to look at that. But you can see the graphics. You can see how we laid it out. And then you can see the copy and the things that we emphasized with that. In regards to emails, we talked about roughly 2 to 3 emails a day. 2 that would come automatically from Hey Summit, and then 1 that we'd actually send to our own email list on a daily basis. And then the email that we also would have our speakers or encourage them to send out on the day that their talk went live. And then we talked about on the final day, having your closing session later that day. So you'd have the first sessions that day, 8 a.m., but your session, you would actually have that one roughly 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Through Hey Summit, you can actually set up some new reminders to remind people, hey, closing session is going to be starting in an hour. Then a second one going, we're starting now. Because if you are going to pester people with emails, that last day is the best way to do it as that point of emphasis. In addition to that, then send in another email later that night just to remind them, hey, everything's wrapping up. If you want to get the premium pass, the sale price will expire at midnight. And then having one final email go out via Hey Summit, via their email responders with basically a Summit wrap-up and some resources. What we did with ours, we sent them links to access the podcast, to get a free copy of the Get Published book, to book a strategy session. So they could get some great value there. We also sent them a link to join our Facebook group. And that's another great way to continue the conversation is by having your own Facebook group. We already had ours with Get Published, so we were able to add a couple of hundred additional people to our Facebook page, and that grows every day. We have requests every single day, and I would say just about every single one of those people right now have been from the summit. And then we're talking about wrap-up, and that's what we've been doing here for the last 12 minutes or so, because there's a lot of information that we've covered. Now, one of the things that I am going to be doing over the next few weeks is actually creating a book about virtual summits. And I can tell you, I will be using the audio from these last 10 episodes as the base, as the foundation of that book. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to extract the audio. I'm going to send it to Rev. I'm going to have him transcribe the text. Then I'm going to go back. I'm going to add more information, more specifics, more details, things I may have missed. And then I'm going to send that to editing. Once it goes to editing, send it back. We're going to check on it. Then I'm going to send it to my formatter. I've already got a book cover design in progress right now. So within the next month, there is going to be a new book coming out, book number 16, called Virtual Summit System. And I'm really proud of it. This is a unique way to do it. This is a way that we've always emphasized with our clients to speak out the book or to extract the audio from previous trainings. So I am going to practice what I preach because I'm old school. I usually like to just write these down. I usually just like to write in Microsoft Word, get everything done that way. So we're going to do this a little differently. We're going to extract the audio from these 10 episodes, and we're going to make that the foundation of this book. So I'm excited. Book number 16, it's going to be a lot of fun. But the main thing is we want to help you with getting your virtual summit up and running. We are also going to offer some executive coaching with that as well, that if you do need help, then we're going to have some opportunities there to help you with your summit. So I hope you enjoyed this series. I hope that you found it valuable, and I do wish you all the best in your author journey and virtual summit journey ahead. Thanks again for joining us today. To learn more about how you can be featured in our brand new Get Published business book, go to getpublishedpodcast.com.